Let's go, you guys. 2-0 win against Newcastle today. And anytime I watch games, I can't help but compare our performances this season to the same performances last season. Now, last season against Newcastle, in those dying moments, you guys, you remember exactly what happened. Now, fast forward to the next season, the way we approach the game, the way we absolutely outplayed Newcastle off the entire field today. And yes, we have to also accept the fact too that Newcastle were very poor. But for me personally, one of the main reasons as to why Newcastle was so poor was due to how much they feared us throughout the entire 90 minutes. I could smell the fear coming from the Newcastle players, from the entire tactical approach from the go, to how the players were performing, to how the players were trying to close us down. There was no intensity, there was no fearlessness, there was no conviction. That was the most important thing. There was absolutely zero conviction for most of the 90 minutes from Newcastle. And that came down to the fear that we instilled in them, because now we are a serious team, you guys. Now we're a team that play high level, high quality football, that possess high quality players, that can do a lot of things that we weren't able to do from last season. We have so many ways in which we can break down opposition teams, so many ways in which we can play through them, create combinations, the link up, the fluidity, the amount of high quality chances that we're creating now. It's an absolute joy to watch. Honestly, I get so gassed and excited watching games. I'm actually tweeting less because I'm getting even more invested in our games for this season because I want to enjoy myself. And now as a Chelsea fan, I really feel like every game that comes, I'm excited, I'm up for it. And today, you guys, I'm going to break down the rest of the game in the match review in our 2-0 win against Newcastle. Expect to hear me go through some of the key moments and details in the game. Expect to hear some of my thoughts on some of the key players that really stood out and helped us get this win today. And of course, I'm going to give my conclusions as well at the end of the review. So I hope you guys do enjoy. Before I get into anything though, one quick plug out the way first, and of course, if you haven't made any purchases yet for any club wear, merchandise, the new home kits, away kits, etc, then I'm your plug, you guys. Right now, I have 2 affiliate links for you. I have a KITBAG affiliate where right now you can use discount code CONTROL to get 25% off your overall orders. And of course, you guys, don't worry, I still have my remaining affiliate link, but you can use my discount code NINI10 to get 10% off your order. I suggest that you use that link if you want to see what else the club have on sale, where the club Megastore has literally everything that you need. So that's it, you guys. That's the plug out the way. Let's get straight back into the review. Now, we start briefly with the lineup, and of course, we were going to use a 4-3-3 because it's the main reason why we've got 7 clean sheets in 9 games. It's the main reason why we're the top goal scorers in the Premier League this season, and it's the main reason why we have our attacking players absolutely firing. So I was kind of correct with the predicted lineup. I knew that we were going to use Korver, Mason, and Kante in midfield. In defense, Lampard, Benford, Rudiger, and I can understand that. Rudiger's vocalization, leadership, those qualities are important. And I guess the only surprise for me was that Ben was fit enough to play against Newcastle, so that was a very big positive to see in the game today. Now, from the get-go, you can kind of get an understanding for how the rest of this game was going to act out. Newcastle used a 5-4-1 formation, very defensive, very negative, but I could understand the game plan. They wanted to have 4 midfield players in front of their defence where they could obviously stop balls being played in between the lines. Of course, have an extra man to go man-v-man against us in midfield, hopefully trying to overload us in those central areas where we'd be forced to play out wide and just put useless crosses inside the box. Now, if this was last season, where we did see this tactic work amazingly well against us, then it would have been a completely different story. But right now, this season, our team balance is on a different level, a level that I haven't seen since our really great teams, Right now with Hakim Ziyech, you can even see little details in the game, like how often was Ziyech and Mason Mount just rotating their positions. Mason playing on the right-hand side, Ziyech down the left too, just creating more avenues to create attacking opportunities against Newcastle. One of the main reasons why our football was so effective was due to the fact that our possession play was very clinical. We were constantly recycling the ball from left to right, and with the addition of having technical strikers in a Werner or a Tammy Abraham, what they would do a lot of the times was actually drop deeper to actually be more involved in the play, to take a man away from Newcastle. By doing this, we had an extra passing option in the middle to constantly just switch the ball from left to right. And when you have players like Reece James's and Mason Mounts and ZX that have the passing range and ability to just quicken that play up even more by playing an accurate ball out wide, switching the play quickly, it was very hard for Newcastle to keep that intensity up using their very negative positional play tactics. Now that we have quality, excellent players, our one-touch play is on a different level. When you play one-touch quickly like this, it's very difficult for defensive teams to keep up with that intensity throughout the entire 90 minutes. So it was no surprise that after really testing Newcastle's goal with some great opportunities, I remember ZX in-swinging cross to Tammy, great play there. In the end, quality from Mason Mount. Now, afterwards, you guys, I'm going to focus on a few of the players that stood out. Right now, I'm going to just describe some of the key moments that happened in the game. But with Mason Mount creating that opportunity down the right-hand side by a very smart decoy run, excellent at finding space, game intelligence on a different level. He plays an excellent ball into the corridor where, I don't even blame Fernandes for scoring their own goal. But from that point on, the game was absolutely in our favour. And if it wasn't for so much poor finishing in that first half, we'd have absolutely wrapped that game up very easily. One comment I want to make very quickly is the one thing I'm absolutely loving this season, is how our game management has been. Now, Lampard, I feel, has been unfairly critiqued for this, where most times Lampard's been forced to have to make reactive decisions based on things going against him outside of his control. But I had faith in him based on the fact that when it came to those big games, our game plans always worked. We were in the game. We had opportunities to win it. And if you can do that in the big games, then you can do that against the other opposition. And this season, because we have the quality, we can score the early goal. And the moment you do that, you can dictate how you play the game. Once that second goal comes, then the subs do come on as well to keep those attacking opportunities happening. And with how beautifully balanced our squad is right now, with the depth of quality we have, there was no Thiago Silva. There was no Pulisic. We have Giroud. We have Hudson-Odoi to rely upon. It's just really remarkable work by everyone at this club to really just shape the team and build this team how it currently is. Game goes into the second half, and the one negative about our game today was complacency at times. Now, I thought our finishing was very complacent quite a lot of the time. I felt like the intensity, we kind of dropped it off at times, and during those times you could feel it because that was when Newcastle were creating some very small threats from themselves. The second goal finally comes, and it was an excellent goal. The guy is honestly just pure acceleration. The way he just sliced himself like butter through those Newcastle players with that run, excellently setting up Tammy, who then puts the ball in the back of the net. Great goal, and then from that point on you're thinking, can we get the third? We don't, and basically that was the game. So let me now move on to the three players that really stood out for me today, and I'm going to start with N'Golo Kante. Now I can already imagine that some of the critics are going to come out and they're going to state, Nini, again, this was against another team that weren't pressing us high, that gave us all the time and space to play. This was not a great test to see how Kante can cope against pressing teams. Now, honestly, I don't understand this whole thing about Kante not being press resistant, as if we haven't seen him evading the press further upfield for like 2-3 seasons now. Of course, he can translate that skill deeper in the field. But today, one of the things that really stood out about Kante and the importance behind why we can actually play 4-3-3 right now is that Kante is excellent in the second phase. When it came to our passing game today, he was instrumental to that because he was constantly winning back second balls, keeping that momentum going, recycling possession. And if you look at Kante, really look at him in the next game, you can see his defensive intelligence at all times. Now, this thing that he gets too trigger happy and just loves to run upfield, I think it's a bit too over egregious. You look at him, you understand that he senses the danger. He runs out there to close it. How many counter-attacks did he stop against Newcastle players? And then on top of that, passes he was playing. Passes between the lines. First touch, first touch, first touch, first touch, first touch passing. He's the best DM in the country, and no surprise that maybe the club might be having some reservations on signing a Declan Rice. And now I want to move on to Timo Werner. Now with Werner today, as I was saying, he was the definition of pure persistence. And I love that mentality. I love that strength, that conviction behind how he does things. Yeah, I made a mistake, I messed up, but that's not going to affect me from the other moments. And I think one thing to remember with Timo Werner is that we signed him for big money. He's one of the best young strikers in the world, but he has not complete at this point in time. There's still things in this game which he can improve upon, And being at this club right now with the quality that we possess is the perfect place to do so. At times, maybe he can just overdo it a bit with his passing or decision making. His finishing today was very poor for most times, and I felt like he was really just overcomplicating things for no reason at all. So it's great to know that his confidence is still high. He was excellent today, set up Tammy Abraham, and again, he's sort of striker that has a lot of work to go to really just fine-tune his entire game. And for the final player, of course, I need to speak about Hakim Ziyech. I think as the game was going on, he was getting visibly tired. I think that's why maybe some of the, chance creation wasn't as efficient as in the first half. Yet that's what you get with players like Ziyech. It's about the confidence they have at all times to create something from nothing. And it's about the high volume in which they can create good quality opportunities. So Hakim Ziyech can do this easily. We saw in that first half some of the in-swinging balls, the beauty, the imagination, how important was he in helping us overload the right-hand sides, that flank where Reece James was overlapping, putting in some very dangerous balls in behind that Newcastle defence. So yeah, for me, Ziyech was a standout again. And what I really like about him is the mentality in which he plays with. You see it all the time. If he plays an excellent pass and someone messes it up, like for example when he should have played the pass back to Hudson-Odoi instead of looking for Tammy, you can see Ziyech shake his head, because it's not that he's arrogant and is angry, it's about the high level of ambition that he possesses. And when you have players with this character in the team, it rubs off and it infects everyone. So they were the three players that really just caught my eye. Ending things with my closing thoughts, I think that today, we showed the excellent football we can play, the ability in which we can easily create opportunities, and how we're really improving every single game with our game management. I think that when it comes to finishing, I still think that we need more time, maybe another season, to really be that super clinical team like your Bayerns, like your Liverpools, etc., etc. Because, we should have put this bed to wraps in the first half, and then it would have been much easier for us in the second half. In that second half, you were seeing players like Reece and Mason just getting their little knocks in the game, and things became a lot more difficult because Newcastle had to come out and do something different. So I think that's one thing that Lampard will be a bit not being clinical enough, and hopefully they can put some more work in back in Cobham. So you guys, on that note, I'm going to wrap things up, keep things moving. Thank you for watching. I'm Nini FC. This is Blue Lions TV. I'll catch you guys later with some more videos.